Christopher Santiago with BloodyElbow.com. Today I'm joined by the BKFC boss man, David Feldman, to talk all things BKFC ahead of the fights this weekend. David, how's it going today, man?
It's doing awesome, man. Thanks, Chris. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for taking the time as always. What is BKFC? That's a new documentary that Ariel released. What did you make of the new documentary, David?
I thought it was amazing. I thought he did a really good job of it. It's something that we talked about a lot, catching the fighters when they come out and getting the real fighters, not getting the ones that are sitting there polished, looking good, sitting in the chair for the interviews. The guys that aren't expecting the interview and they got a microphone and a camera in their face and they're telling exactly how they really feel at a time that was great for them or not so great for them, coming off of a win or coming off a loss. As you saw some very, very happy emotions, you saw some very, very sad emotions. And I think he caught it. I think he pegged it. Like I did notice a lot of the comments, and they said this was the best piece that Ariel ever did.
How would you say the media and the fans' perception of BKFC has changed since 2018? Because I feel like back then people thought it was like a really grueling sport, but now it's so popular.
Sure, it's just it's consistency, right? I mean, you go to a restaurant and people question it, and they keep putting out good food every night, for years and years and years, and finally, it's the best restaurant in the world. And that's what we're doing with BKFC. We're just being consistent with and putting out a great product, growing very, very rapidly all over the world. And I think we're in a place right now where BKFC's in a great position, and it just the perception changed because we just kept giving them consistency, right? And they got better and better and better fights. And we went this way instead of going that way. And that's why I think that we're in the position we're in. And I think that's how we change the perception for the fans.
I always like to talk about like big picture stuff. We're 7 years into it now. I guess, do you think we'll ever see a BKFC Hall of Fame?
100%. We actually talked about it. We were initially going to launch it actually on in December for the Hard Rock show, but we felt it was rushed a little bit. So we're definitely going to launch a Hall of Fame in 2026 for sure, 100%. I think these fighters that they go out there, they risk their life, they bleed for us, they deserve to be honored in a Hall of Fame.
Awesome, man. Awesome. BKFC Knucklemania 6 returning to Philly. I love Philly. I guess, what can you tell me about this event coming up on February 7th, I believe?
We just have a lot of fights that aren't completely signed yet, so I can't really announce them. But it's some new faces in, some big stars coming in that haven't been here yet, some returning stars, and it's just some of the BKFC warriors that have made some of these shows, some of the best shows in the world. They're going to be on the show as well. I anticipate actually breaking the attendance record that we broke last year. I think we're going to sell more tickets this year. More and more people are interested in it, and I think it's just going to be an amazing event. And can't wait to bring it back to our home city of Philadelphia and put on one of the best shows that we've ever put on.
Could we see Eddie Alvarez back on this card? And I guess, has there been any interest from him in returning to BKFC?
Yeah, I think you're probably just going to see Eddie Alvarez coaching some guys, being an ambassador for BKFC right now, and helping us grow the sport. I think I'm not 100% sure he'll have to make that decision, but I'm not sure if he still has fighting days in him, if he still has that grind that he wants to keep doing that. And either way, we're gonna move forward with Eddie, whether it's in the ring or outside of the ring, and develop a good partnership with him.
We've seen a lot of great signings from like former UFC fighters. I know Aspen Ladd's one of them. I saw that Chris Barnett got released from the UFC. I know the BKFC heavyweight division is really stacked and loaded. It's really fun to watch. I guess, any interest in signing Chris Barnett?
We were just talking about that a little bit ago. I mean, it's a possibility because what we want is we want guys that will come out and fight and won't back down. They can knock someone out or get knocked out, and that's Chris Barnett. He'll go in there, he'll either get knocked out or he'll knock someone out. He'll put everything he has into it, and he also is a character. So that's something we're looking for. So I would say there's a probability that we'll be talking to Chris Barnett shortly.
Awesome. It's another Lorenzo Hunt fight week. When Lorenzo fights, is there any more stress? Because I know you've been between the face-offs and you had to separate people. Is there any stress, any added stress that goes into a Lorenzo Hunt fight week?
I mean, I wouldn't say added stress. I would say added excitement. It just is. It's more exciting. The face-offs are exciting. The weigh-ins are exciting. Everything that Lorenzo Hunt does with the organization, he makes it more and more exciting. And I'm ready for some more excitement this weekend. And it's great to have him back because he brings a different level of showmanship to BKFC, and that's something we really like here. And he can fight.
Mm. He's been away from 19 months. I guess what can the fans expect to see from him on this weekend?
I think we're all curious to see what Lorenzo Hunt shows up, right? Is it a rested up, healed up, stronger, more conditioned Lorenzo Hunt? Is it a Lorenzo Hunt that could have possibly got old in those 18 to 19 months, right? And that's a possibility. Seeing him train and talking to him, I would bet that we're probably going to see a very, very good Lorenzo Hunt come here, a guy that's going to try to walk through Josh Dyer. But, we have a very, very confident and a lot more experienced Josh Dyer across the ring from him.
Is there any fights that are flying under the radar that like you have your eyes on this weekend at BKFC 84?
I mean, I think that the Aspen Lad Cheyenne fight is going to be that's going to be a great fight. We have a lot of good fights in the undercard, a lot of local guys in California and actually from all over the country. Just looking forward to a really great show. It's the first event that'll be in. It's the first combat sport event at that arena. It's called the AccuShore Arena in Palm Desert, California, about 20 minutes from Palm Springs. And it's it's the first time BKFC has been in that part of California, and I think it's going to be a great show.
And you guys have a homegrown star coming in, Nathan Rivera. I remembered like he passed you like a letter of like a multi-fight deal. I guess what have you made of his rise in BKFC? Because now he's the number 2 contender in the world.
Yeah, I think there's no end in sight for the rise that Nathan Rivera can have. He can fight. He's a good looking kid. He's an articulate kid. He really has everything that we kind of need to build a star in BKFC, and he's one of the guys that we're going to focus on in 2026.
He's calling for the number 1 contender in Edgar Paziola. I was kind of surprised to see that he wasn't calling for the champion. I guess he wants to leave no doubt that he's the number 1 contender. I guess what do you make of a fighter like that?
I mean, it's great. Guys want to be ambitious and they want to fight the best. I mean, that's what we asked for. The guys that want to fight the best, and he wants to fight the best. That's probably not going to be his next fight, but I'm sure he has a number 1 contender or title shot in the near future. I want him to get a little more experience inside the square circle with bare knuckles in. I want to teach him how to become a star a little bit more with some of the people that we're bringing in to do that for BKFC. And then, we're going to unleash him, and then he's going to have to fend for himself and see if he does deserve to be the champion. I think he's got all the tools to make for a great champion in BKFC.
Mhm. And I love what the BKFC is doing right now with the lightweight tournament. Franco Tenaglia, recaptured or actually won the interim gold. I guess what were the conversations like with him after the win? Because I know he got stripped for taking a fight outside the organization.
Yeah, I mean, I get where he's coming from sometimes, and on the other hand, like, we had stuff for him, so I didn't get it. But Franco Tenaglia, I really like him. He's very popular. He can fight. He's as tough as they come. He's one of the toughest guys I've really ever seen. And he won a very close matchup against Ben Bonner, but a very, very exciting matchup in Italy. And he showed that he can take a punch and he can keep punching. And he's going to fight the winner of Luis Palomino and Austin Trout on December 5th. And that's going to be exciting because if it is Luis Palomino, for some reason, we have 2 South American guys, probably it would make sense to do that final in South America. If that happened, if not, Austin Trout, we may bring that one to South America as well. But we're definitely putting our legs in South America. We definitely have an exciting 155-pound tournament coming up, and I can't wait to see how it pans out.
South America, nice, nice. I guess is there any countries that you guys are looking at? Mexico, Brazil, maybe Tenaglia's from Argentina, I believe, right?
Argentina, Peru, and Uruguay will be number 1, 2, and 3 in South America. All 3 of those will happen this year in 2026.
That's awesome, David. Congrats on that. Another question I had for you, with I want to ask about uniforms. UFC and PFL have uniforms. How important is it to let fighters wear their own sponsors and to really, I guess, express themselves in BKFC as opposed to a PFL and the UFC?
I mean, I think we're going to tone it down a little bit. We're going to narrow the field a little bit, but we're still going to give them the opportunity. It's not necessarily the opportunity to express themselves. It's more the opportunity that they can earn extra additional income. And that's what we want them to be able to do. We don't want to take that from them. At the same time, we want to, hold brand standards to a high regard and make sure that they're not wearing anything they shouldn't wear. But I think, you know, will we ever go to uniform? We may go to uniform, but if we do, we'll still allow them to have some sponsorships as well.
Most definitely. And I gotta ask about the belt behind you. When did you put that in place?
Not a King of Violence belt. We just moved into a new office here about 3 or 4 months ago. We have the regular BKFC belt down here. We have the King of Violence belt, and then someone made that one up there for me. I have the Queen of Violence belt over there on the other wall. So you know, it's I'm very proud to display these championships. I mean, this is something that we developed from the ground up, and to have these belts, you know, behind me actually stand for a lot.
And one more question for you, David. I asked the same question to Conor McGregor. I guess, can you recall your first memories of like your first bare knuckle fight? Do you remember that?
Legal or illegal?
Uh, whatever works for you, man.
The first bare knuckle fight that we ever did was in a warehouse in Philadelphia, and it was against two guys that never fought before, just, you know, street guys, and it was the best fight. The sound, just, you know, the blood, everything that I saw was like, man, I have to be able to turn this into something special. Then we did the first fight June 2nd, 2018 in Wyoming, and everything just panned out. Like, you know, you want to plan something and you're like, this is the plan, let's see if it can pan out. It panned out better than I ever could have imagined. We had great fights, we had sensational viral knockouts, we had a great women's fight, we had a good crowd, we got a lot of coverage on it, and we were trending #1 on Twitter that night. So it was a fantastic night for us, and those are probably the two best memories that I have, except for doing the Wells Fargo Center last year in Philadelphia and just looking around and seeing every seat. I was at a Philadelphia 76ers game the night before that, ringing the bell, and then there was a lot of empty seats. And then we went in the next night for Knucklemania, and every seat in the place was taken. It was just an unbelievable, surreal feeling.